All right, so first weekend with the beloved Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. How am I liking it? Am I frustrated? Is all you know what? Coming from the iPhone over to this bad boy, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. But if this is your first time stopping on the video, all right, this is your boy Technically T, man. I'm an Apple shield. Okay, I love all my Apple products. I absolutely do. But sometimes, like most iPhone users, we just get a little bit damn bored over time when you use your iPhone. So I wanted to spice things up a little bit, man, and go out there and pick me up a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 because this is one device that always tends to pique my interest every single year. But I end up returning it after a day or two because I can't get away from my iPhone walled garden. All right. But we're going to break that. Okay. We're going to at least break it until the new iPhone comes out. No, I'm not making these switching videos. I'm not doing all of that. I just want to have an open mind and look at this technology, man, for the average person's point of view. That's what we do over here. We talking about like the average person. So first weekend with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, how have I been liking it? And I have to say, I've been feeling it. I am not gonna lie, man. I've been really enjoying myself with the Z Fold 6. So, first things first, let's go ahead and talk about some things that people call annoyances because I think us in the tech community, us tech junkies who subscribe to like 60 tech YouTube channels, I feel like we don't think about the average person going out here and using this device. That's the angle that I'm going for. Not tech junkies, not all these MKBHDs and all these people, man. No, they're tech junkies. Average person, how would you feel if saying, hey, I want to try a foldable out? I want to know how I would like it. Now, let's start off with the outer display. We already know the first thing is always talk about it is too small, it's too narrow. Now, is it too narrow? Yeah. Would I like it bigger? Of course. But is it a deal breaker to where I cannot use it? No. I actually like using it. That's the thing about foldables. And this is the reason why I always return it because I don't use them to the full potential. A lot of times I'm just using the phone on the cover display and I'm not opening it up to really get my money's worth, which I do need to do because I paid full smackaroos for this bad boy. So I need to get my damn money's worth. But when you're talking about the cover screen, man, I tend to use it for everything that I need to do. I can look up content just fine when it comes to this bad boy. I look at YouTube videos up here. You go hopping on Twitter, scrolling on Twitter. I tend to do everything up here and I can do it fine because guess what? It's big enough for what I like to do. I can still type on it fairly easy. A little bit of a learning curve when you come from an iOS device over to an Android device when you're talking about typing on it. But overall, I like pulling out this and I can just do everything that I needed to do on the cover display. Now, would I like it bigger? Like I said, yes, but I don't mind the usability of how narrow it is. It feels a little bit comfortable just navigating the cover display. I guess that's why I do it so much because I almost like navigating on the cover display more than I do in the open format, especially when it comes to texting and different things like that. To be honest with you, I just prefer to do it closed. And and I'm gonna just leave it like that. I prefer to do this closed. So that's how I feel about the cover display. Is it gonna be a major deal breaker? And of course, the dog is barking. So yeah, cover display, man. Would like it bigger, not gonna be a deal breaker. I actually enjoy using the cover display. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the build quality. How I feel about that, man, because I have been using this thing naked. Now, if you don't know me, I'm a case person. I'm a case junkie. I'm mainly an accessories channel, but I need to break it up and do a little bit of tech content when I'm checking out these cool devices. And I've been using this bad boy naked, and I have to say I've been enjoying running it naked. Okay, fellas, I know we like a little something naked. All right, so I've really been enjoying this device when we are talking about running it naked. I do have a screen protector up there, but I'll probably end up getting a Pataka Mag Easy case to throw back there because I need my mag safe. Okay, I'm not all into plugging this bad boy in when it comes to the Type-C port. I'm gonna need my mag safe charging. Now, talking about charging, let's talk a little bit about the battery because that's one thing that you always hear is the battery is no good when it comes to the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Now, I've been using this since Saturday because I put my SIM card in it and it wiped my entire phone. So I was frustrated with that. That almost alone had it go right back to the Best Buy. But I said, nope, see, let me set it up. Let me go ahead and give it a second chance. So I've been running this bad boy since Saturday morning, and it probably is still going to be learning my usage. Let's go to my settings real quick. And I'm not sure if it's still, yeah, see, it's still learning my usage patterns. I haven't even got broken into the battery yet. So I'm not really going to say too much about the battery, but I will say I took my charger off the phone today at 7 p.m. and it's sitting at 88%. I've kind of been on it a good bit this morning, especially before I started recording this video. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll report back on another video, maybe after a week later on how the battery life is doing. But let me hit on this real quick because this is something that annoying that I always hear people complain about. The charger speeds, okay? We know the Samsung doesn't have the fastest charging speeds. No, it's not OnePlus or Honor or all those crazy phones going to charge your phone in 28 seconds. No, I know it's not that. But the thing about it is, I don't necessarily care how fast this thing charges because if it can just make me through the day, guess where this is going when I'm going to sleep? It's going on the charger where I don't give a damn about how fast it charges. So I think some of us make too big of a deal when it comes to charging speed. Sure, we would like for it to be faster for those quick times where we need to juice up and go. But for the main point, man, as long as this bad boy lasts me throughout the end of the day and I can pop it on the charger at night, cool. I'm done. So battery usage is something that we will come back to once I learn it a little bit more, once it learns my usage patterns. I can't speak on battery life too soon. I don't want to jump to conclusions just to automatically say that it's trash. Okay, now cameras. I know I'm running through this quick, man, but this is how I do. We got to go. Regular conversation, man. So let's go ahead and talk about the cameras. Now, you already know what people say. It's honestly what I say, and that was one reason why I could never use a foldable device was these cameras back here for the price that you're getting was not up to par. This is not a $2,000 worth camera lens when it comes to the Z Fold 6. Now, I have not taken a bunch of pictures with the Z Fold 6. We had friends over this weekend. It was a bunch of drinking. I didn't take pictures out. The phone was in my pocket because one, I didn't activate Samsung Care yet, and two, it was a lot of bourbon drinking this weekend. So I hadn't had a chance to actually activate Samsung Care. So when it comes to what am I talking about? I just ran blank. That's when you don't no script your videos, man. This is straight off the dome. Cameras. Didn't get a lot of chance to take a few cameras, but one thing that I want to say is I think us tech reviewers get so locked in with cameras and we don't think about the average person that's picking this fold up and who wants to take a picture of their meal, a drink, their kids, post online. Nobody wants to have a DSLR in their camera, and I think people who are buying foldables aren't expecting that either. I know at least 5 diehard fold users when it comes to the Z Fold 6, and I always ask them, how do you like the cameras on it? And they always say the same exact thing. It's fine. Because us as tech reviewers, we know how good the iPhone, the S24 Ultra, the Pixel, whatever flagship device, OnePlus Open, we know how those cameras are. And we know the quality, it is better than the Z Fold 6. But for the average person picking this phone up, walking into the AT&T store, any carrier store, and saying, you know what, I want to try that fold out. And they're going to take a picture of it. They don't know how any of those other phones take pictures. So I think we should kind of think about that before we get on YouTube and just spiel, oh, the cameras are bad. Yeah, they're bad to us tech reviewers because we know how good cameras are out there. Now, should they be improved? You're damn right. They should be improved. And I would love to see them improved. I don't think they're a deal breaker like most people make it as. Now, I'll throw up a few screenshots of videos that I have taken, pictures. I'm sorry, I really haven't taken that many videos. Few pictures. These are everyday pictures. These are nothing fancy. This is me just snapping pictures throughout the house. My son, when I was dropping him off at school, just born pictures. Once again, once I do a little bit more with these pictures, I will the camera. We gonna talk about that, man. But I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. But other than that, man, I love it. The biometrics, I feel like is decent. You know, it might be a little hint slower than Face ID, but sometimes I get stuck between using the fingerprint and the face ID, the face recognition. I'm not sure which one do I want to use, but they work good when you just stop for a minute, look, boom, and it's going to come on. Fingerprint scanner is one thing that you have to kind of get your memory when it comes to your hand and adjust it over. You kind of got to just remember where it's at because sometimes I just tend to miss it a bunch when we are talking about the button. I don't know. You might got to put a little bit of you know what up there so you can find it, fellas, if you know what I'm talking about. So overall, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, man, I've really been enjoying using it because, like I said, you pop this bad boy open and you can just use it to. I was using it to book a rental car last night, and it was just good to have this whole real estate. When you're researching something, you're opening up Chrome, different things like that. You can have this open and look at Reddit. I can just see much more. The real estate is just that much easier when we are talking about reading it and different things like that. What annoys me is the app compatibility, the app quality. I use Ecobee as my home, automation, my thermostat, my doorbell, things like that. I tend to use Ecobee because I'm an Apple user. So therefore, it's going to work easier with Apple. Now, I was able to convert everything over from HomeKit to Google Home. So when I open up my Google Home, I do have all of my devices in here. And let's go to device control. So I do have my stuff in here, lights, garage door, front door. I do have all of that in here, but there's things like my Ecobee cameras, because I got cameras, they're not compatible with Android. So I can't view my cameras unless I go into the Ecobee app, where that's something that I would like to have everything in one app, like my home kit, different things like that. I can see my cameras and everything, but that's no fault to the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. That is going to be your app compatibility. Once goes along with saying that's why some apps are designed a little bit better with iOS, especially when you have their products. So I'm not really knocking that to the point, but that's just something that I had to make a note of on what I feel about the app quality and everything like that. Now, when we are talking about, man, just like I said, overall fun, I love it, man. I've been having a good time with this Z Fold 6. I am not complaining one bit, not one bit. I'm really not. A few annoyances, like I said, is going to be app quality and the things how I used to do before, I can't do. And that's one thing I want to touch on because that's one thing that always affected my ability to use an Android device long term. I was so stuck on holding on to those Apple, keys, which means, your iMessage, your FaceTime, your all of those things. I was so used and stuck to them, and I had to look back at it and realize that it was something that I wasn't using every single day. I don't FaceTime all day long. Well, I do iMessage all day, but as long as I get the message, I'm too damn old to be worried about green bubble and blue bubble. As long as I get my message, I'm cool with that. The pictures and the videos, that's one thing that I was so stuck on before about how we couldn't send the same quality pictures and videos from iPhone to Android. I know that's soon changing when it comes to RCS, but once again, I'm not constantly all day sending pictures and videos. I'm just not. So I had to realize that as much as I like to hold on to those features, I don't use those features every single day. So once you learn to kind of let go a little bit and open up, your imagination can really run wild when it comes to this technology out there. And that's exactly what I'm doing with this Z Fold 6. I am thoroughly enjoying it, just putting this out. I haven't even gamed on it yet. I don't play a lot of cell phone games, but just pulling this out, open, that sounded horrible, by the way. But taking it out, open it up in Discord, different things like that, man. I just love Discord on it. I mean, YouTube, we can do, I don't even want to do it without showing too much information, but you can open up your Apple Music. I mean, just the real estate that you get with this, it just always blows me away. The brightness on the screen is absolutely fine. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really feeling it. I don't really foresee myself returning this like I normally do when it comes to the Z Fold 6. And this design has just been absolutely amazing. Me running this naked, I really can appreciate the squared off designs. I know a lot of people always talk about is there are so many foldable that's better than the Z Fold 6, but when you look at it as in a whole with pin support, your IP48, just your, everything that it has to offer, this is a greatly refined device when it comes to a Samsung. So that's gonna be kind of it, man. That's how I feel about the Z Fold 6 after using it for a weekend. I'm liking it. Few annoyances, but it's nothing that is gonna make it a deal breaker for me to use this device until the new iPhone comes out. There's one little thing that's going to slowly happen a little bit later this week. My Google Pixel XL 9 Pro, whatever it is called, that name is too damn long. That comes in, and I want to see how that's going to sway me away from the Z Fold 6, or am I going to continue rocking with the foldable? Also, I did go out there and pick the Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra up, and I have to say, man, I'm loving this thing way more than I thought I would. This is by far my favorite Samsung watch. We are going to talk about that maybe tomorrow or another day coming up this week because I think a lot of people need to know about this Samsung watch and the thing that people always have with them with the Tizen, and you don't got to worry about that anymore because I'm really feeling this watch Ultra. So hit the sub button, man. Get subbed up. Y'all know how I vibe, man. This video probably will be out on Monday. If you're watching this to the end tonight, we live stream on Monday where I will talk about this a little bit more. I will sit down, have a drink with my people, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun. So until next time, hit that sub button, man. More videos about my experience with the Z Fold 6 coming up.